Hey everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be overviewing or watching the speed build for my Spart challenged entry. So for this time Spart challenge, for anyone who didn't know, wasn't paying attention, this time we have the topic or the theme of golden age. And for those of you who actually don't know what the Spark Challenge is, it's an official Sims 4 thing. If you go into the gallery, there'll be a Spark Challenge thing. It's inspired by the TV show that they had. I don't know if they're gonna have another season of it, but the first challenge we had after that was destination weddings. And then we ended up getting the ability to do destination weddings in the game. However, I don't think they work because I tried to do one and it wouldn't let me pick the lot. Like, it wasn't showing up as an option even when I exited my game and went back into it. And then I even went on vacation to that destination world and it still wasn't a thing. So I don't really know what's going on there. So, whatever. So this time around though, the theme is golden age and it's all focused around elder sims. So the official rules are create at least one elder sim. You may create additional sims in the household. This is if you're doing the stylist. There are a few different ones, but there needs to be at least one elder, and that elder will be the main focus, using everyday outfits. Style your Sims to communicate a special hobby or activity that they enjoy, and imagine something truly unique and outside of the box for your elders. There's no DLC required, so you don't have to use any packs. There's no simoleon limit. You can use full edit cheats, in custom content. Custom thumbnails, poses, and mods are not allowed. So I did one for the first time and I'm doing it, again. I don't think this one is particularly, creative. I'll be completely honest. But what I decided to do for mine was, because when I first started Golden Age, being the historian that I am, I first thought of the Golden Age, or what's often referred to as the Golden Age, being the Victorian period. And there were Victorian homes built then. So my idea was, and it might sound a little morbid or it gets a little dark in some ways, my idea is that this Golden Age, Victorian, has been recently bought by a bunch of elder sims who aren't quite ready to retire. They aren't quite ready to give up their autonomy and their freedom. So rather than going off into a retirement home, they decided to band together and use their savings to buy this Golden Age Victorian for themselves. I'm building here in Glimmerbrook. I just kind of like how Glimmerbrook looks. This is on the gallery. You can download it. You can put it wherever you want. And in it, I decided that 6 Sims were going to live here. They're all elders. And, I decided to give them all an area where they can do their different activities. And I really just wanted to give them all some fun little things. So, and I also made the Sims and put them up on the gallery. So you can download them too if you'd like to play with them in this house. So, like I said, you can download this off the gallery and those Sims. So the first Sim that I came up with is Yvette. And Yvette is this cute little old lady, and she just is very crafty. I made her a whole craft room. And, I think that was just the very, generic one everyone was going to do anyways, but I still wanted to do it. And for her, her thing is just, she just likes to craft, and that's about it. She's just living her life. And I like to think that, I gave her the knitting aspiration, and my idea for her is that she just wants to knit and just live out her golden years, just crafting away. In her craft room she has the knitting stuff, but there's also an easel, and also around the whole house there's other crafting things. I have the flower table, I have the candle making station. There's a lot of things for her to do, and I gave her the creative trait because all she wants to do is be creative, and that was my idea for her. So she just wants to spend her last years, her elder years, her golden years, just making some, some crafts, some art, and just living her best life. The next one is Dennis. My idea for Dennis is that he was like this very successful sim in life. I like to think he probably had a very successful military career, maybe, or some kind of like very serious career. And maybe he was a lawyer or something, but either way, it was a very serious career. He had many accomplishments. I like to think in his youth he probably explored Selva Dorada, maybe dated a vampire. I like to think he did it all. And now that he's older, he just discovered video games, and all he wants to do is play video games. He's done it all. He's been to Sulani. He's been he's met spellcasters. I like to think he's really lived a full life, and now he just wants to sit around and play video games. And I like to think part of the reason he moved in with these other elders is that his family was like concerned. They're like, oh, you used to do so much, you should go outside. And they just like don't understand that that he's really just like, no, I've lived my life and I'm ready to relax. So I built him a little gaming room, and he has like a gaming PC in there as well as a TV with one of the like gaming consoles. And I threw some like nerdy things in there, and the only lighting in that room also is lava lamp, so it has kind of like an interesting vibe. But like I said, my idea is that he just wants to play video games all day. He doesn't have much of an interest in anything else. He's retired, and I like to think he just wants to spend his retired years how he would like them. And I like to think the other Sims that live in this house, because I put all sorts of things around the house for them to do, like there's rocking chairs, and there's a whole like gazebo they can hang out in, just so they can do things. But I like to think Dennis just like wakes up in the morning and gets ready and then just plays video games. His own bedroom is pretty sparse too, and my idea there also is just he doesn't spend a lot of time in there. He gets up, probably eats, and then goes, all right, I'm gonna go play video games, see you guys later. The next sim is Celine. I think her name's actually Selena on the gallery, so I do apologize. I forgot what exactly I named her. It's either Celine or Selena. And she is, and her description on the gallery is that she just likes to hang out in the basement all day, and no one really gets it, because the basement, as far as everyone can tell, you go down the stairs and it's just like a boring staircase, or not staircase, a boring bookcase. But behind the bookcase is actually this whole like witchy, like not lair, but like a little witchy area, and Selena is secretly a witch, and she just wants to spend her elder years, just honing on her craft, be able to maybe, just be the best witch she can. Most people probably worked on that when they were younger, but there is no, there's no rush. Now that she's older and retired, these are the years she wants to spend. So she has this whole little witchy, little witchy basement. There's all sorts of fun. There's like a whole cauldron down there. I put a bunch of things from vampires. I even put the what's it called? It's from vampires. The organ. She just like has her little witchy area down there. She just does her spells, and does her potions, and that's all she wants to do all day. And her roommates are very oblivious. They have no idea what she's doing. And what's really funny in my mind about it too is I just feel like they're like they're just like they don't even think to go down there. They're like, oh, she just likes to hang out down there, whatever. When in reality she's if they knew what she was doing, they might be a little concerned. But that's my idea for her. She's just here to hone her witchcraft as an elder. The next one is Pierre. Pierre, I thought was a really funny one, because my idea for him is that he spent his whole life as like a master chef, a master mixologist, and when he retired, he realized that he didn't really want to stop, but that he couldn't really manage to work anymore. He's getting a little too old. So now what he does is he just cooks and makes drinks all day. He has a full kitchen. It's a very nice kitchen. I'm very proud of how the kitchen came out, as well as there's like a full bar and a whole nother part of the house that I say those are his spots. if anyone wants food, you just ask Pierre. And he's like, oh, I'll do it. And if you try to cook, he gets very kind of like, nope, this is my kitchen. It is Pierre's kitchen. Fun fact, I also made his last name Ratatouille because I thought that would be funny. And my idea for Pierre is I gave him the romantic trait. I like to think in his youth he was a little bit of a Lothario, if you will, little flirtatious, and he's just, he's old now. He's settled. He's definitely settled down. All he wants to do is like cook all day. He doesn't really have, because there's a reason he became a chef, and it's not because he was because he was good, obviously, but it wasn't just because he was good. It's because it honestly and genuinely brought him joy. So that was my idea for Pierre. And I like his little room. I had a hard time because there's not a lot of when I was designing each room, Yvette has a cat, and I just used a bunch of kind of things that I thought made the room look a little bit older. And I was like, okay, that's Yvette's room. When we got to Dennis's room, I knew I was going to keep it a little bit more bare since he doesn't spend a lot of time in there. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Selena's room is, full of things from Realm of Magic. I was trying to really, hint at whose room is who and what their interests are. Or in Dennis's case, how often he doesn't spend there. But when I got to Pierre, I was like, what do I do? And I do feel bad. I put some really dumb things in his room, but he does have his own bathroom, so I'm fine with his room being a little stupid looking. I put that chef pig statue. I feel like he actually might find that offensive because I did give him the snob trait, so he probably hates it, but it's there anyways. The next one is Jim, and Jim is a older sim. They're all older Sims, but he also, for an older Sim, is in very good shape. When I was making him, he is very, he is muscular. And my idea for that is because his whole thing, he's a gardener. And I like to think in his youth, he was either worked on a farm, maybe grew up on a farm. So, gardening is just something he's not just good at, but it's something he just, does always. It's just something he's very passionate about, and he's very in shape because of it. And he has a cow plant too. You probably won't, you'll see it in the screenshot. But yeah, he has a cow plant, and he just likes to garden all day, He just goes out there, he works on his plants, and then that's all he really does. His own room also is full of a bunch of the wall planters, the standing ones, and then some floor ones over by the windows, because he just likes to garden. It's what makes him happy. And I like to think just the idea of him having being I grew that, he gets a lot of pride out of it. I used the overalls from Eco Lifestyle from, because I like to think he's not super some of the other Sims I made here might be a little bit more put together, but he's just very kind of straightforward. I like to plant, I like to be outside, and that's it. He's not into being super fancy or anything. And then the last Sim is Madison, and Madison is an interesting Sim. So what she does is she has her laboratory upstairs. Everyone knows it's a lab, but they're not really sure what she's doing up there. I like to think she was a scientist, and I think in my idea is that she was probably at one point placed in Strangerville, and then something happened and she was removed, and now it's been years, and she's a retired scientist now, but she's still up to some weird things. You go into her lab, and there's some stuff. I will say I did use the new Star Wars pack in this build. I know not a lot of people are getting that pack, and not a lot of people want to support it. That's totally fine. You can download this still, and it won't be an issue for you, because I did the stuff I used from Star Wars is pretty sparingly. And if you go in there, things are missing, you can just replace them with stuff from either Get to Work or from Strangerville. I just wanted to use some of the new, because I do like some of the new alien, like alien stuff, because I think it can work well for if you're trying to make like a lab, especially kind of like a weird, maybe not official government lab kind of thing, you know? So that was my idea. But like I said, the only places that that pack is used is in two places in this build, in the secret lab, and then there's in the pathway, because I really like the stones from this pack, but you can replace that also. I feel bad telling you like, oh, you can replace it. But you know, I did try to use it very sparingly. Oh, I think I do use the sabacc table because I do have like a little activities room. But once again, you can replace. It's like in the corner, so if it goes missing, you're probably not going to notice because if you don't have it downloaded. But if you do notice that spot, you can probably just put something else there. I just liked the idea of having it because just to give them something else to do. But yeah, as you see here, I'm putting down the new stones from the Star Wars pack. I just really like how they look. And you know, even if you don't have that pack, or if you do, you don't like playing with it, like those stones, you have to. Those stones are good. You know, if there's anything that pack gave us, they gave us nice stones. But as you see here, I used a lot of Strangerville, a lot of Realm of Magic, and some vampires on the, or I guess a lot of vampires on the outside. Those are like the packs I feel like I'm always using. But that's because, you know, I like to build Victorians. I'm sorry. And, you know, if you're going to build a Victorian, we got like 3 packs that we can really use for it. And, you know, so. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this build came out. This originally wasn't the green I had in mind. I was going to use the other green. But I don't know, it just felt weird. I wanted the home to feel very bright and lively. Because my idea for it is like these Sims, you know, they're just, even though they're elderly and they're definitely, you know, in like that, they've entered, you know, the part of their life where they have less birthdays ahead of them than, or they have more behind them than ahead of them. I like to think that, you know, they're still, you know, they're very active and, you know, they're very lively. You know, they're not, you know, they've definitely got, you know, they've got some time left. They're not going to kick the bucket tomorrow. And even then, they're going to be going pretty lively. You know, they're excited to be alive and they're excited for their newfound freedom, if you will. Because like I said, my idea was that their own families, you know, like their kids and stuff were probably like, okay, I think it's time, you know, to put mom in a home or whatever, you know. And eventually the kids were like, you know, the elders were like, no, we're not going. Also, side note, back to the building, I just put down those windows from vampires. I love how they look. I just wish they weren't attached to that like wall texture that they come with. And I don't know if the team did that so that like you like are more inclined to use that wallpaper from the wallpaper that goes with it from vampires, or if they did it because maybe they thought it wasn't enough of like a window, like, you know, because on its own, like if it had just been like that one shape we have there, I'm not gonna lie, it probably would feel a little lazy. But with the whole wall texture attached to it, it does make it a little hard to use it more more, I guess, like, yeah, just use it less often. But yeah, usually if I'm not going to use the wall texture, what I'll do is I'll just take the really the really nice curtains from vampires and just cover them up. Also, I put those windows, those big stained glass windows from Realm of Magic, I ended up getting rid of them and switching them with the big window from Strangerville. I wanted to keep the stained glass to more of like like a little accent piece here and there, and I didn't want it to be like a big main feature of the house. Even though this definitely was made, I would assume, because this definitely probably would have been made closer to the end of the Victorian period. So a lot of so there probably would have been stained glass, especially some of that kind of Art Nouveau stained glass. That definitely was something the Victorians were into. But, you know, I decided, I was like, no, I just want to like keep it. But, you know, even though they liked stained glass, they probably wouldn't have, at least from what I've seen in examples of homes, they wouldn't have big, massive windows. I do wish we had a few more doors with it. I do like the doors from Strangerville a lot, but I do wish they sometimes were just a little more ornate. And then the doors from Realm of Magic I really like, but they're hard to use unless you're gonna be making a stone house, sadly. And I didn't want to do a stone building for here. I really wanted to do something like a green siding. Oh yeah, you see there, I switch out the window. I thought I had cut that out, but yeah, switching out those windows. I really like those ones. I really love the Strangerville windows. My only complaint also, and this isn't really about Strangerville, this is about Realm of Magic. I do wish the windows were a little bit more compatible with the windows from Strangerville. Just because if you want to do stained glass, you don't really get that, you can't have that option of having a white or cream kind of like outline or whatever you want to call it around the windows, because you see the stained glass, they have like the dark wood around them. I don't know, it stays like this where sometimes like create a style, or like the fact that we had like in the Sims 3 where almost everything was customizable. I sometimes hated that because one, I feel like it really was really buggy. It would make your computer so laggy, and I do think sometimes it was just a little ridiculous. Like it's, but I do wish sometimes we had it. I don't know. Maybe in The Sims 5, I would like a very pared down version, because I think in The Sims 3 it was just too much, and I don't think it was really beneficial for the game, because I don't really for me personally, I don't really see it having added anything. I don't know. I just feel like for me, having all that customizability was really annoying. But in The Sims 4, sometimes I'm like, why can't I, like why can't I have more customizability? I don't know. I just don't like that. I wish I could go in and change the frame around windows just to color sometimes. Does anyone else feel that way? Like I don't really care for anything else. Like if they wanted to just like really pare it down and be like, you can only do like X, Y, and Z, I'd be like, sure, you'll never hear me complain. But the fact that like we don't, I don't know. That was just my little tangent. Sorry. But yeah, you see here, I'm trying to figure out the floor plan, trying to find out where things are going. Some of the rooms, some of them get a little wonky in shape. But yeah, I know Victorian homes did tend to have some wonky shapes, so I think that's okay. But especially up here on this top floor was a little bit of a mess. Or I guess that's the third floor. There is a fourth floor too. I also, on this build, I put a whole, I very rarely ever put down the telescope anymore. And I feel like that's weird because I really like the telescope. It's a little bulky. And I think that makes it just a little hard sometimes to just like use in your, like day-to-day gameplay. And I do wish we'd get a smaller one, but I actually don't dislike the big telescope, especially since it gives us the ability to do like woohoo in it. I think that's a fun little addition. And I do think on this build, I do kind of like it being big. It's so funny. My idea also, once again, is that Madison installed this massive telescope on the roof because she's been doing some weird things with aliens, let's be honest. And I like to think that the other elders who live here, their eyesight's just getting so bad that they just haven't noticed it yet. It just hasn't, and if they ever like do kind of, they're like, what is that? Madison goes, oh, it's nothing. And they're like, okay. Or she'll like, oh, it's it's our new cable, provider thing. And I feel like they'd be like, modern technology, it's ruining everything. She's like, yeah, totally. I like just to think that the other elders are just slightly oblivious to kind of what's going on. They're just not fully aware that about what Madison's up to. I just like to think they're like, just a little, just, you know. And same with Selena. I just like to think she goes downstairs and they just like don't question it. I think they're at that point where they're just kind of like, okay, for one, I don't think Dennis would even notice. Like if Yvette went to Dennis and was like, Selena spends way too much time in that basement by herself. Should we be concerned? I feel like he'd be like, I didn't even notice. Sorry. And Jim would just kind of be like, I prefer my alone time in the garden, and maybe she prefers her alone time downstairs. And and then so I do think like Madison and Selena, they're these odd ones out, but I feel like the only one who would really notice is Yvette, and I feel like everyone else would just kind of like Dennis, Pierre, and Jim would kind of just be like, what of it? I do like to think Pierre does probably have his own theories about what's going on. I would assume his theories are incorrect, but I do think he does. Oh, also here, I left this in because I built this whole like little, I guess, what would you call it? Almost like a pantry little room here, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's not really usable, but I just like how it looked. I end up also doing a bunch of things where I try to make bookshelves in this house look like they're built into the walls. I just really wanted this house to feel really old, and I want it to feel like very like elegant and nice, because that's my idea, is that these elderly people, they decided that they wanted to buy a home, and they went all out for it. They have like a little tea area up on the 4th floor where you can get up onto the roof as well. This kitchen has like its own like little like really nice pantry area. There's the door to the basement in the kitchen too. I like to think this is a pretty nice, snazzy looking house. I'm actually really proud of how this house came out. I think it's very very pretty. Oh, here I'm working on the basement a lot. This is the shape I end up going for. But yeah, here I'm just, I'm really happy with this build. I don't think it'll get anyone's attention when it comes time to do the sparked, like challenge, voting or whatever. I have already gotten like 30 something downloads, so I am pretty happy. I think it's getting a little bit more traction than my other one, the one for the destination wedding, so I'm pretty happy about that. So if you like this build, like that, you can go download it off the gallery, as well as you can download the Sims who live there if you would like, or you can make your own. Stick around for the photos at the end so you can see how it ends up really coming out. And here's the kitchen. Oh, I'm so happy. I love this kitchen. Anyways, some other things. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of other things going on. I'm also currently in the process of applying for grad school. So if I have less content coming out in the next few months, it's because of that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one, and go check out this on the Sims Sparked tab. Thank you so much and have a great day.